We are here in Geneva in our studio, and we are a content creation studio for mainly VR games. Kenzan as a company exists for 10 years now, and originally did glass cabinets for luxury products, so for watches, for champagne, etc. Holographic imagery. It's kind of an augmented reality story to sell to attract customers to that shop. That market is slowly going down. It's not as exciting anymore because the product exists for a long time. So the logical step for our studio, which does creative content development and also CGI imagery, was to take on virtual and augmented reality. Studio has been 5 people for a long time before growing to around 10, 12. With virtual reality, it exploded. Exploded in a way that we have 2 teams now, one in Geneva. This is 32 people, whereas 28 of those are in production, and one team in Lyon, another 12 people.
You would not believe what happens when we get a new toy like this one. So everybody wants to know how it works and what we can do with it. We're doing something that people, for sure, they haven't done yet, and I'm sure that they might not do anytime soon, because we get the latest stuff, like the Alice project, this one. We may be the first and only studio in Europe who has this. So we're doing something with it because we have it first, because we want to know what's new and what can be done with it. And we're really good at this.
J'ai créé Kenzan peut-être pour faire rêver les gens, pour qu'on soit dans un autre univers, pour qu'on puisse faire des choses sympas, jolies, amusantes, et qu'on ait un travail qui nous plaise.
We have a series of pedagogical books that are called Theo and Leonie. And there are 2 kids who travel through time. They discover a magical necklace, and they actually find Leonardo da Vinci. So they all travel together in time, and what we have done, we have applications that you download and they accompany the books, and they have more games and more info. They have an audio book that somebody can actually read the whole book with animations, etc. But they also feature augmented reality. So if you have the books, you can actually look at the pages, and some of the pages actually come alive. And they have models, and you can play mini games on top of the book itself. It's super, super awesome for a kid to actually see their book if they also like it, and they really, really like these books.
We started with research and development of VR and AR experience about 2 years ago, with motion tracking, with experiences. Developed a partnership with Neutom, also at that stage, to co-develop content and motion tracking, and took it from there to develop our first virtual reality games. The first game, Pirate's Golden Skull, it's a small mini game where you basically shoot a lot of bottles on a pirate ship. The game was just to gain experience, what does work, what doesn't. But it was also the time where we had the idea to develop the VR promotion and entertainment product. Promotion product for shopping malls, airports, to attract customers too. So a very short, engaging experience where you can earn points to get something at the location you're in. And we just started a huge roadshow in Switzerland together with Coop, a large retailer. For 30 weeks this year in Coop shopping malls, you can play 2 of our games.
The game is a fun little 2 minutes experience where you walk around in a garden. You're holding a water pistol, and you're supposed to shoot water at little plants like flowers. You make them grow, you shoot balloons, you shoot bells that play the little music, the theme of the game. And you also shoot little bunnies and little chicken that lay eggs, and then you have to shoot the eggs. It was built for the supermarket chain, so they have to be at one of these supermarkets where they can play the game.
Basically, we introduce VR to the masses in Switzerland. Alone in Switzerland with Coop, we are approaching 2 million customers with our solution.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're doing in the studio here right now and these things behind you here?
Yes, so these are our new toys. This is a system it's a tracking system. These cameras do is they get 120 frames per second each. So there are 12 of them. Each of them has a gigabit connection to a central server. So we're talking about lots of data. We want to be able to track multiple physical objects in a virtual space and actually have multiple people interacting with the same physical objects in the same physical and virtual space.
Our system is 200 square meters large to accommodate 12 people that are playing either with each other or against each other.
So they are in the same physical space, and they're also in the same virtual space. So in each of these objects, we actually place these little reflective markers on top of them. The reflective markers, they are in unique configurations in space. So you might have like 4 like this or like this, and the system identifies the unique 3D configuration in respect to each other. So that's how it knows where they are in virtual space, in physical space, and where they're rotated, and it does this in real time for tens of different objects, physical ones, including the headsets themselves. So we're not using the tracking of the headsets. Everything is being tracked by the same system. What's unique about it is that this technology, the tracking technology, allows us to have a game that has the players in the same physical space, playing, collaborating with each other, speaking to each other, not through the internet, which would not be possible to do in a home VR environment.
We use backpack PCs, so you wear a very strong high-performance PC on your back, and at the moment we use Oculus Rift.
No cables whatsoever. It's an awesome way to experience this kind of game that you cannot experience anywhere else, because general VR cannot do this right now. You cannot have so many people in the same space with physical objects. People will start wondering, yes, we are in the early stages of VR, but what's next? Is it a better resolution headset? Yes, sure, of course. Is it a faster GPU that makes better graphics? Sure. But what's new? What do we have? Are we going to have body tracking? Are we going to have multiplayer, same space, different spaces, conferencing? These are the things that we want to explore first, and this is what we have been doing. We want to be there before people understand, and we are being there.
The big thing is the VR franchise. We call it Kenzan Arena, which is built on motion tracking components from Neutom. Again, the Neutom partnership is very important for us in combination with our games. The whole system is targeted on the business market where you run an entertainment facility. It's also the aspect of it, or why we are doing is not only to make a business, but also to make VR a more social experience. And for that, we developed 2 big games. One is targeted at the adult. It's a shooter game where 6 players against 6, The Lost Pit.
It's a competitive game for 6 players, 3 versus 3 at home and 5 versus 5 at the most. The gameplay is very simple. It's shoot, kill, and capture. So you're walking on different platforms and you have to teleport from platform to platform, and there's one certain platform which is the platform to catch.
There was a mention of a flying machine.
We're building a real flying machine. You'll be riding a bike that flies in the game.
There is no big game like this yet on that platform from Neutom.
We have some strategic partners where they will get the game first. So one of our partners is Coop, which is the main Mo centers in Switzerland, and then we'll see.
When we envision our Kenzan Arena franchise, it needs to apply for adults, but it also needs to apply for businesses to play games. And we need to set a certain bar when you have a shooter game. So we decided to do also a family game, which is more, I would say, an escape room, riddle, puzzle kind of scenarios. And the first game is called EnigmAttic.
The game is set in the universe of Theo and Leonie. Each of the players is actually a historical figure. So we have an Egyptian, we have a Spartan, we have different players. They use the physical objects to solve a puzzle inside the virtual world. In this game we have 4 different players wearing headsets. If you catch this stick, it actually transforms to an object in virtual reality from your era. So if the Spartan picks up, it becomes a sword. There is a huge table, and the 4 players are around the table because, and that's interesting, in VR you could actually walk through the table. In this system you cannot, because there's an actual physical table where the virtual one is, which really adds to the experience. So you can touch the virtual table. So I hope that people will enjoy playing this, because it has to be coordinated. People have to coordinate to play it correctly. And I don't think that this has been done before in this setting.
This kids game is only targeted for our Kenzan Arena franchise because of the manipulation of physical objects that is only possible with the I would say, state-of-the-art motion tracking capabilities. For the franchise, we are targeting for Switzerland a price of 30 Swiss francs for a 12-minute experience. The plan is to build up a global recognized franchise system with a lot of Kenzan Arenas. We are targeting bigger cities with locations that are very frequented, like shopping malls, entertainment palaces, etc., that have the space necessary. So we're talking about 400 square meters that we need for the gaming area. We really sell it as a plug-and-play package. So the hardware comes from us, the software comes from us to support the maintenance, that it's always updated accordingly with a support contract. The plan is really to build a world-class VR arcade system that we can continually feed with our own creative ideas, with our own games. We try to use the assets we create over multiple channels. So we have Kenzan Arena, the franchise, which will be the highest experience possible. And then we're also targeting businesses. So gamification of marketing is a huge thing for us. Doing custom development or adaptation of our games for businesses to achieve their business goals, to attract more customers, to make them more successful in their business. To make our vision come true of being a global supplier of VR arcades, we need to go beyond Switzerland, of course. We are seeking to grow the team. The funding that we have received up till today is that we could fully develop all the games that we are talking about, develop the Kenzan Arena franchise up to the first location. I'm in final negotiations for the first location in Zurich, so that should open in August. To further develop more games and to develop the franchise to a level where we have a few hundred Kenzan Arenas worldwide, we seek a second investment round that can bring the company to the next level.